Hi folks, good afternoon and welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob. Here we are just before the beginning of summer, and yet it seems like summer already, especially down south. My nephew lives in Texas, and Austin, Texas, and the temperature's in the high 90s. And if you like warmth, you can go to Las Vegas because it's been over 100 degrees for the last 13 consecutive days. And remember, it's not even summer yet. So I'm worried about the weather conditions. So I'd rather be up here in North, unless of course you like hot weather. Well, with me today is a guy that seems to like hot weather. At least he likes the water because he's down there in Westerly, Rhode Island. You probably know him. He used to have a show kind of like this. Back in the day, we were kind of competing against each other. He had a show down in Westerly, and I was in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. His name is CASWELL Cooke. How you doing, CASWELL?
I'm great, Bob. Thanks for having me here. I packed a suitcase and a lunch to come all the way
Did
from
you?
Westerly to your
You
studio.
got your passport, right?
Yes.
You must have a passport. You talk to people, and you're joking, but it's absolutely true. You talk to anybody from around here, and you say, I'm going to Westerly. It's like, what?
I know. Yeah.
Or vice versa.
That's true. Well, I've been the executive director of the Mesquamaket Business Association going on 25 years next year. And if you look at the license plates of who comes to Westerly, it's Connecticut, Massachusetts.
Right.
And it's true, Rhode Islanders don't. So I'm here to say to all Rhode Islanders, you should come and visit Mesquamaket Beach. We have the largest stretch of beach in the state.
The nicest beach, probably.
Well, I don't want to say that, but we're pretty nice.
Well, it's one of the nicest beaches.
And we also have the largest revenue-generating state beach of any of the ones in the state. And yeah, Mesquamaket's a nice 3-mile stretch with restaurants and hotels and about a dozen different parking lots, including the State Beach parking lot. And we got lots of stuff to do. We even have a drive-in movie theater down there as well. There's only 2 drive-ins in the entire state of Rhode Island, and one of them's in Westerly.
And the other one's on 146?
Exactly. Now that one's a little bigger than ours, but we are down by the ocean, and there's nothing like watching Jaws when you're right next to the ocean.
I don't know if that's the right movie to watch.
It is. I swear to God, I tell my people all the time, we could just show Jaws,
every
Goonies,
weekend.
Really, Jaws, Goonies, E.T., and just a few older movies like that. I try to do the newer stuff like Barbie and stuff. People don't show up. They want to see Jaws.
Really?
So we show Jaws a lot. And we're open 5 nights a week in the summer. We're open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Now, where is this?
So
on the beach?
It's right across the street. So Atlantic Avenue is the main drag in
Sure.
Mesquamaket. And if you know where the State Beach is, from the State Beach parking lot, you can see this drive-in screen. It's across from a place called the Windjammer. And the town owns the property. And we have a little tourist information booth there. So we kind of, it started out as a makeshift drive-in. We had a cargo container. Well, no, it wasn't quite like that. But we had this cargo container, like a Sealand cargo container, and we used it to put our stuff in for our spring and fall festival.
And don't tell me you use that as a screen.
Well, what we do is we stacked another one on top of it and built a screen off the front. Got a radio transmitter. First couple years we were open, 2010, 11, I literally, out of the back of my Jeep, had 2 DVD players and a projector. Now, of course, we have a projection shed and we have a staff, and it's more legit. Right. And we do an hour of kind of retro previews. We'll show like old commercials from the 60s and 70s and make it kind of cool.
Yep.
And then we'll put sponsors on there as well.
Do you do the cartoons too?
Yeah, we do. The Let's All Go. Well, not Let's All Go to the Lobby, but all those old-fashioned,
Right.
3 minutes till showtime, ha ha ha. That kind of thing. So it's kind of a retro experience, and it's kind of cool to see. We're creating memories for kids. The parents bring their kids, and they they'll put a mattress in the back of the pickup, and they'll all bring food or whatever, or they'll get there early and go across the street to one of the restaurants, and it's just it's fun. We open at 6:30. And we're a nonprofit group, the Mesquamaket Business Association, but mbadrivein.com or mesquamaket.org are the ways you can see what the lineup is. And we do it per carload. Sometimes we have concerts there. During COVID, we actually had Westerly High School's graduation at the drive-in.
Nice.
And concerts. We even had
you've had some great concerts.
Peter Noon from Herman's Hermits.
Right.
Came and played during COVID because it was
during COVID.
During COVID on that stage. John Cafferty, all these people came.
I remember going down there. You had Starship. Jefferson Starship.
Well, that was when we did our big music festivals back in the day, and then now we kind of morphed that into Spring and Fall Fest. So we do a 3-day spring festival in May, which we did last month, and then in the fall, the 2 weeks after Labor Day, we do a Fall Fest, and we do it at the State Beach. Rockwell Amusements comes, brings all the Ferris wheels and everything. We have about 90 vendors, food, arts, crafts, and then we have a main stage, and actually John Cafferty just played for us last month. But we've had some great stuff, 10,000 Maniacs. We've had Christopher Cross.
10,000 Maniacs?
Yeah, Christopher Cross.
What was their song?
Well, they did that version of Because the Night, which was a Springsteen, Patti Smith song.
Right.
Smith song. But
they had a hit. They had one big hit.
They had tons of hits. And
no, but they had a big hit that I remember.
Yeah, they do.
But I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. Yeah, oh my God! See, now you put me on the spot. But we've had Firefall. We've had bands like that. Cool stuff. Last year, right after Jimmy Buffett passed away, his band leader Mac McAnally came and played, and it was almost like a funeral for a friend kind of thing. But it was a huge thing with having him there, and it was very poignant. It was his first show after Jimmy had passed away, and when Jimmy Buffett's last concert was actually here in Rhode Island. He joined Mac McAnally on stage in Portsmouth, and Mac McAnally was playing, and Jimmy was off the road at that point because he was sick, but he joined him for like 5 songs. And Mac said he wanted to come to the Mesquamaket show, but he passed away like 2 weeks before.
Oh, no kidding.
So Mac McAnally is a great songwriter. He co-wrote a lot of stuff with Jimmy Buffett, and now that the Coral Reefers are still continuing, Mac is kind of the head guy, and he's a guy that. I actually played my song Coconut Kevin that we're going to talk about. I played it to him, and he liked it and helped me get it out there and stuff last fall. But yeah, so we do a lot of great stuff in Mesquamaket. We do classic car cruise nights in the summer every Tuesday night.
That's early, right?
We 5:30 to till dusk on Tuesdays, and this guy Dom Cardillo, they call him the Doc. He's from the northern part of the state, so he has to pack a lunch too.
Right.
He's our DJ, and we get 60, 70, 100 cars, and we give away prizes. And then we do all kinds of other events at the beach. And one of the main things of our business association is we pick up all the trash on the streets, sweep the sidewalks, keep things nice.
Well, you've always been a good promoter. You've always been this.
Well, that's what we do. We want people to enjoy their stay in Mesquamaket and keep it nice. So that's what we do. Yeah. And then when I'm not doing that, I DJ at the Windjammer, and when I'm not doing that, I play with my band. And I sell real estate too.
And you sell real estate too?
Yeah,
well,
why
you're doing
not?
it all.
I try.
How about the Knickerbocker? That's still going strong?
Oh yeah, the Knickerbocker's great in Westerly, the birthplace of Roomful of Blues. Yep.
Yeah.
And then we do, that brings up the other event we do in the summer. We do something called Tunes on the Dunes. In fact, Governor McKee likes to come every year to that. And we'll have, Al Copley, Duke Robillard, a lot of the Roomful alumni. We have Roomful playing this year. We do rock and roll on Mondays, and on Wednesdays we do blues on the beach. And it's 6 to 8 at our Westerly Town Beach. Usually get 2,000-3,000 people a week. We do 6 weeks of shows.
Now wait a minute, the Westerly Town Beach is not the same
as the State Beach. It's in Mesquamaket. It's down the street. It's near the Windjammer, but it's open to the public for the concerts. You don't have to be a Westerly resident to go to the concerts. And we have all kinds of cool people that play there. And in fact, I keep bringing up John Cafferty. We had him last year with John Ford Coley. Just great bands, both local and national, and blues stuff that's national too. But a lot of Roomful of Blues alumni come play there because Roomful started in Westerly.
Right.
And at the Knickerbocker.
And John Fogerty, is he
John
from that area?
John Cafferty lives
John Cafferty.
Yeah, he lives in South Kingstown.
But is he originally from North Providence? Is he from North?
I think so, yeah.
His relatives are from
Yes,
North Providence.
and he credits Mesquamaket back in the 70s with getting him broken nationally, because what happened was the people from New Haven, from Toad's Place, saw him performing in Mesquamaket, invited him there, and then the people in New York City saw him there and invited him to the city, and then he went big.
Wow.
So he always credits, John is a great guy, and he's got a new album coming out, and
we got to get him here. I've never had him on my show.
You should, and last summer he put out his first new song in 30 years.
Wow.
Called Day in the Sun, and he called me up and he goes, "Hey Gaz, I don't know nothing about making videos. So I got my friend Chris Walsh, and if you look on YouTube, just type in "Day in the Sun," John Cafferty, and I directed the video.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and so he's looking forward to. He's been playing the new song, and he's looking forward to getting a new album out. He decided in his 70s it's time to put out a new album.
Yeah, it's a little,
Why not?
Why, exactly.
Yeah, he sounds great. The band's great. So, he has fun. So, yeah, we have a lot of fun, and a lot of these people are, regulars in Musquamacut, and Cafferty is definitely a regular. And he's like, when Kaz calls and tells me to play, I come on down.
Oh, really?
That's my impersonation of John Cafferty.
But he didn't go to URI, right? Did he?
Oh, I don't know that much about him.
I think so. I think back in, because he was around back in the 70s.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Back when I was born.
He was there, yeah.
Yeah.
Born in the 70s?
I was born in 74. I just turned 50.
74. I was out of college by then.
Well, that makes you old.
Well, that's for sure.
You're going to have to be a half hour with Bob soon.
Yeah, no kidding.
The hour might be tough.
Too long.
Yeah.
Too long. My 32nd anniversary was last Wednesday.
Well, congratulations.
And I didn't even realize it until a couple of days before my show. And I said, wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry, not last Wednesday, Wednesday before, 29th of May. And I said, wait a minute. What's the 29th of May? What does that come? And I go, wait, hello, that's when I started. 1992.
Wow. That's when I graduated from high school.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Time goes by, doesn't it, folks? We get older.
1992. You graduated from high school? 92, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a long time ago.
I know.
Not as long as me, though.
I hear you.
Well, have you always been from Westerly?
As far as I know, I was actually born in New York City. My parents were from Westerly, and they moved to New York City, and I was born there.
Right.
But we only lived there till I was like 2. So yeah, I'm a native Rhode Islander pretty much.
I used to bust the governor up, McKee, all the time. That it would come up once in a while. He said, "Oh, I'm from Cumberland all my life." I said, "Yeah, but you were not born in Cumberland. I was born in Cumberland. I was born in a house in Cumberland. He was born at Lyon Inn Hospital."
Well, there you go.
Right?
Yeah.
So I got one up on him there. Right?
All right, that's good. I hope Lieutenant Dan, I call him Lieutenant Dan affectionately. When he was Lieutenant Governor,
Right.
I used to call him Lieutenant Dan because like Forrest Gump. So I still call him So if Lieutenant Dan and Sue are watching, hi Lieutenant Dan.
Hi, Lieutenant. I'm sure he likes that.
We were on this, last time I was on this show, he was with us when we were talking about the Musquamacut Waste Warriors.
Yes.
It had to have been, well, whenever he was Lieutenant Governor, it had to have been 6, 7, 8 years ago now.
Yeah. He became Lieutenant Governor in, 14?
Yeah.
2014.
Yeah.
His first time.
Right.
And then he got reelected in 18.
Yeah, and after we were done, he bought lunch, which was great.
Which was unusual.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. No, I'm joking. Just seemed to fit.
That's true.
It just seemed. Where'd we have lunch? Where'd we have lunch?
I don't remember.
Down the street, right?
Yeah, down the street.
At the Italian deli.
Might have been.
Good deli.
Yeah.
If you like Italian stuff, even though you're not Italian, if you like Italian.
Yeah. Well.
Italian sandwiches, Italian cold cuts. They have the best Italian cold
But
cuts.
you know, when I come up to these parts, I need to go to Onlyville.
Oh, wieners.
I got to.
You love the wieners.
Oh my God.
Yeah?
All the way.
The Onlyville wieners are great.
Yeah.
They're about the best around.
Absolutely.
They really are. They're about the. You know how my brother used to eat weenies? Everything on them, plus a glob of mayonnaise on the top of them.
Yeah, I'd try to quit that part, but.
Have you ever seen that?
Not with the mayonnaise, no.
You ever seen anybody? I've never seen anybody do it but my brother.
No. I like it the way they
Yeah.
entrust it to you, yeah.
I don't like the celery.
You
I
know
don't
what
like salt.
If somebody orders a grilled cheese, you know what they call it? A mouse trap. The guy would be like, 2 mouse traps.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, they call it a mouse trap. I love how they like yell at each other and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's great. I go there just for the
ambiance.
Oh yeah,
The ambiance.
That's absolutely.
It's been the same guy.
I certainly
think.
don't go there for the parking.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No, it's not easy. Well, you should talk. Westerly's not that easy either.
We have 2,700 parking
Do you
spaces
really?
at that state beach and another 1,200 on the rest of the beach. Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, how about getting the parking? How about parking to go to the drive-in at night? How is it?
Oh, we have plenty of room. We have like 200 parking spots. So
Really?
we usually get like 50 to 80, 90 cars, something like that. So we do. It's pretty good. We charge $25 a car load. It doesn't matter how many people are in the car.
Right.
We have a
How
concession
about in the trunk?
stand.
They put them in the trunk?
Yeah,
They
well, we don't
we
make-
used to do that when we were kids.
It's true, but see, that's when they were trying to like charge per person. But yeah, so come on down to the drive-in anytime you want and check out one of those classic movies. The Mesquamaket Drive-In is definitely an experience.
I always like drive-ins.
Yeah.
I go to well, I was going to say Lincoln, but it's actually Smithfield on 146.
Yeah.
I like the drive. Plus, you get at that movie theater, you get 2 movies.
Yeah,
Two first-run movies.
Yeah, we're pretty much with 1 movie, 1 screen, but
Well, you're getting there.
it works.
Pretty soon you'll be up to the 2
Sure,
movies.
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, why not?
Now, who's this guy? Kevin? Is it Kevin?
Coconut Kevin.
Coconut Kevin. I know I met him once.
Yeah.
When I was down there with you.
Yeah.
Coconut Kevin. What's his story?
Well, and it's because we're gonna play.
We're going to show a video in a minute.
Well, maybe you know what we should do. Why don't we show? So I have a band, and the band is called CASWELL. My name.
Gee, that's a stretch.
And the Peel and Eats, like peel and eat shrimp.
Oh, Peel and Eat.
Yeah. So it's Caswell and the Peel and Eats, and we kind of are like a yacht rock cover band. We'll do like Christopher Cross, and we'll do like anything that like sort of fits that late '70s, early '80s genre, plus some other stuff. Anyway, I decided at the age of 49 to write, record, and release my first single, and I was shocked at how far it's gone since I released it last August. But it's called Coconut Kevin, so we should probably show the video and then talk about it. So
all right.
You see, so let's. So
Why
this
don't we
is,
do that?
Yeah. So here, ladies and gentlemen, on An Hour with Bob is my video, my song called Coconut Kevin.
Coconut Kevin.
Every night I lie awake just dreaming about the future. Pay those bills and worry about the kids I need to nurture. With all the pressures of life, sometimes we need an escape. I know a guy who lives that life great. I wish it could be Coconut Kevin, ass in the sand, having drinks at 11, spending his time just painting and swimming. I wish it could be, I wish it could be, I wish I could be a Coconut Kevin. Fairly legit. There came a point where he just needed to quit. He got a van so he could live wherever he wants. Mesquamaket Beach or Key West, they are his haunts. Coconut Kevin, ass in the sand, having drinks at 11, spending his time just painting and swimming. I wish I could be, oh, I wish I could be, yes, I wish I could be a Coconut Kevin. Every night he lies his head down. He got off of life's merry-go-round. He learned how to chill, but it took a few years. Now he avoids all the pain and the tears. Wish it could be Coconut Kevin, ass in the sand, 11, spending his time just painting and swimming. I wish I could be, oh, I wish I could be, yes, I wish I could be a coconut Kevin.
Well, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's
Coconut Kevin, huh?
Right. So that video shows the actual Coconut Kevin. So here's his story. Kevin Martin is his name. He was originally from Holyoke, Massachusetts.
Right.
And
Which is not that far from straight up, what is that, 98?
Sure. And so Kevin spent his summers in Mesquamaket Beach. There's a little trailer park on the beach called Dunes Trailer Park. I actually run the concession stand there. It's called the Haven Express if you're ever down there.
Named after the Haven brothers?
No, just we used to have a place called Seafood Haven, so now it's called the Haven Express, but nothing to do with the Haven brothers, but we do clam fritters and stuff. Anyway, so Kevin would spend his summers in Mesquamaket. So 30 years ago, he's a little older than me. I'm 50. I think Kevin's about 60. He used to be kind of a bit of a drinker and red-headed Irish guy. Just you can't miss him. You couldn't you couldn't miss him in a lineup. So he was my roommate for a few years, whatever, and he used to be in the Coast Guard, and he would just kind of work and in the winter on like boats and stuff down the Gulf. Anyway, about 20 years ago, he said, "Screw it. I don't want to live life anymore like normal people." So he put a mattress in the back of his van, and he literally lives in his van by choice, and he spends his summers in Mesquamaket and his winters in Key West. And he lives the life of Riley, and he paints coconuts and does artwork. So down in Key West, he started to get known as Coconut Kevin. And you can find him at Higgs Beach down in Key West all winter long, and he has a big conch shell. And when the sun goes down, he blows the conch shell.
I've seen him down there, by the way.
Yeah. So about a year ago, a little over a year ago, my wife came home after a hard day at work, and she was like, "God darn it, I wish I could be Coconut Kevin." And I said, "That's a song." So I went down the basement and I wrote the song.
I wish I could be Coconut Kevin.
Right, so it's I wish I could be Coconut Kevin, ass in the sand, having drinks at 11, spending his time just painting and swimming. I wish I could be a Coconut Kevin. So that's it kind of came quick. I'm not really a good songwriter or anything. So my band, went into the studio in Pawcatuck, not Pawtucket, Pawcatuck, Connecticut.
That's right, Pawcatuck,
and we did this we did this the song. So I released it last August, and nowadays you can release it everywhere. So YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. And I didn't think that anything would really happen with the song.
Right.
But all of a sudden, I started getting like some traction with it, and it was really weird. So I started playing it when I was DJing, and people would request it and they would sing along. And then I'm sitting there like playing, we're doing shows like Charlestown Seafood Festival, places like that, and I'd be playing and I'd be like, I wish it could be, and the audience would go, Coconut Kevin.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
And everybody would say, this is an earworm, this is catchy. So there's all these different genres of music, and one of them's called trop rock. So
Never heard of it.
Right, tropical rock and roll.
Oh, all right.
So let's just say it's like
Trop rock.
Jimmy Buffett and people like that. So all of a sudden, our song starts getting on this trop rock chart, and it gets up to like number 3 on the national Trop 40.
Wow.
Then there was a station, beachradiostation.com, which is a national station that plays tropical type music, and they play like the Beach Boys and things like that. And we went to number 1 for 4 weeks on that chart.
Cut it out.
And now I do a show every Friday night on the guy's station. But then what was really cool is I get a call from this guy in Nashville, and there's a station down there, WNEW, and he's like, we're going to play this on our show. It's a show called New Music Monday. So people call in and request. So he played it, And for 6 weeks in a row, this was like last November and December, we were like the #1 requested song on this station.
Wow.
So then I got this guy from California named Larry Weir, and he said, I would like to help you promote this song. I think it's got legs.
Right.
And I didn't know anything about how to do that. I had gotten on some of these charts by myself. So this guy took my song, and we are on, even as we speak, we're starting to go down the charts now, but we have been on 10 national charts. So on the National Adult Contemporary chart, we got up to #2. The National
awesome.
Independent Countries chart, we got up to 1. So we've been #1 on 4 charts, and even on the pop charts, like the national, not Billboard, but there's a national pop chart, we made it up to like #12. I mean, you're looking at a chart that's got like Taylor Swift and Dua Lipa on it, and then it's like Caswell and the Peel and Eats. So the song really just got legs, and on TikTok, all these places, I saw how the problem is you get paid 1 penny for every 7,000 streams. So I looked yesterday, and I've made $24 so far. But I brought for you, Bob, I brought for you, so this is a shirt. On the front, it says Caswell and the Peel and Eats, and on the back, it's Coconut Kevin. So you have your own Coconut Kevin t-shirt. We do sell these at our gigs, which we have several of them coming up this summer, but I'm going to give you a Coconut Kevin t-shirt.
Thank you very much.
Here on
Coconut Kevin.
An Hour with Bob, so you can have your ass in the sand having drinks at 11. He doesn't drink anymore, so that part was made up, but he's a funny guy, and you can see him in Mesquamaket all summer long.
I have. I've run into him.
Yes.
With you and without you.
Right,
I've run into
right.
him.
So,
Well, he got that hat. He always wears that hat, right?
Yeah, he does, yeah. So he's just, that song, and he's become a little bit famous because of it. They actually put him on the front page of the Key West Times a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
And he won some award down there for like keeping it weird in Key West.
Oh, gee.
Which he does really well. And Rhode Island Monthly wrote an entire full-page article on our song, Coconut Kevin. So this summer we're going to be out performing it, and we're actually playing a couple times in Westerly at a place called the Shamlot. We're playing at a place called the Windjammer in July and August. We are playing at the Charlestown Seafood Festival in August.
Right.
And our big break is to be playing at Summer Pops in Westerly on Saturday.
June 22nd.
Yeah, and
well, that's coming up.
Right, so that's the chorus of Westerly, 200-voice chorus, which I'm in with my daughter. But if you look down here, Caswell and the Peel and Eats, we're one of the opening acts, so we get to play in front of 15,000 people. And on June 22nd, which is, tomorrow or the next day, whenever you're watching this, we are releasing our second single, and our new song is called The Beach.
Yep.
And it's another song about kind of escaping the cold. I think there's a line that says, just say screw it and get out of the cold. The daily grind is getting pretty old. Life's too short, don't drive yourself to the grave. Just go to the beach and catch that perfect wave.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of a song. Let's all go to the beach. So that song will be streaming everywhere.
You're going to take over for Jimmy Buffett.
I'm trying, and so we are going to debut the song The Beach on the day it's released in front of 15,000 people at Summer Pops.
So when are you going to Nashville?
So Nashville, there's a guy in Nashville, his name is Buck McCoy, and he's the one that does this radio station down there that broke our song.
Right.
And he plays at all the clubs down there, like Alan Jackson's club and places like that. So he has invited me down this fall.
Yep.
His band is going to learn my songs, and we're going to go down there for a few days and do 3 or 4 shows. We haven't worked it out yet, but we'll be on the Strip in Nashville, and I'll be doing...
I want to go down with you.
You should. We're going to do Coconut Kevin and The Beach.
The airline is flying direct there now. The Breeze airline flies direct there.
All right. Well, then that's how I'm getting there.
I'm going to have him on the show, the owner.
Good. Well, maybe you can get some free tickets for us if we play Coconut. If we let Breeze take Coconut Kevin, the song.
Well, you never know.
I'm looking for a way to make some money off this music. It's really cool to have these songs that people...
Unfortunately, we can't make money in this studio.
No, I know.
We can't make money
I'm
on
just
this
saying
show.
there ain't no money in music anymore, folks. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what,
Unless
Bob,
you're Taylor Swift.
Well, we got our first, not that the gigs we're doing, these are real gigs, but we got our first like out-of-state cool gig they're opening a Margaritaville resort on Cape Cod. Used to be the Cape Codder. It's got an indoor water park and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's going to become a new Margaritaville in a few months.
Oh, wow.
So the New England Parrot Head group booked us to play. It's next May, but like we're actually getting paid real money. They're going to like provide sound for us. They asked us what we want in our dressing room, and they're giving us hotel rooms. And I'm like, wow, like it's like a real. I'm like a real band.
Oh, you gotta ask for special stuff or something.
Yeah.
On your
Well,
room,
I'm not
right?
going to push it.
Like some of these crazies do.
Well, you know, it's funny because we got 9 people in the band. And, you know, we're all different ages. The oldest guy's 67, the youngest guy's 30. I'm in the middle. And it's too hard to take a band. You can't take a 9-piece band on a tour. There's no money in that.
Right.
So what I did is my wife and I went to Key West last fall, and I called up some bands down there. There's this lady named Carrie Wolf, and there was another band down there. And they learned Coconut Kevin. So I was able to perform on Duval Street with them, and I got to sing my song.
And you didn't have to carry 7 other people.
Right.
Pay for
right.
For
and you know, we got great video out of it. So we were playing at you know, all these cool venues that were right on Duval Street, and I never thought in a million years that I would be singing my original song, you know, in Key West.
Now, was that your first time in Key West?
No, I've been there many times.
Really? Yeah.
In fact, the first time I went, it was with Kevin 30 years ago.
No way.
And then he made it his home. So when I go down there, I drag him around to all the places so he blows his conch shell, and then I sing Coconut Kevin. But anyway, so that's the story on it. And I know you have another video that we're going to show
right now,
which is kind of a sort of a little recap of what our band does. It's kind of our promo for the band.
It's your band. It's a promo for your band.
Yeah.
Right?
So this just shows what we do.
All right, why don't we show that right now?
Get ready to set sail on a musical journey like no other. Introducing the Northeast's hottest new yacht rock band with a parrot head twist, Caswell and the Peelinites. These guys know how to bring the party vibes. Playing all your favorites from the 70s to today, they'll transport you back to an era of smooth sailing, good times, and unforgettable music. Caswell and the Peelinites are here to get the crowd going, singing along, and dancing the night away. So whether you're a parrot head, a yacht rock aficionado, or just looking for a good time, this band is your ticket to musical paradise. And don't forget to check out their debut single, Coconut Kevin, which has garnered national attention and can be heard on radio stations around the country.
Coconut Kevin, ice in the sand, having drinks at 11, spending his time just painting and swimming. I wish I could be, oh, I wish I could be, yes, I wish I could be a Coconut Kevin.
Don't miss your chance to join the party. Book Caswell and the Peelinites at your venue today.
Well, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you know, we sing the Pina Colada song. We sing Ride, Captain Ride. We sing, I mean, we do weird stuff. Like, it's not all yacht rock. It's, we'll do like James Brown, Living in America. We'll do Blue Suede Shoes. I mean, we'll do some stuff like that. But most of it's kind of in that
Beachy stuff.
Beachy, yachty, you know, kind of. We do Ride Like the Wind, Christopher Cross. Stuff that, spooky. You know, love is kind of crazy with a spooky little girl like you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we'll do stuff like that. Let Your Love Flow by the Bellamy Brothers.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, cool stuff.
A mixed bag, huh?
It's a definite mixed bag, but it fits in that yacht rock thing. And, of course, we do Buffett, we do Cheeseburger in Paradise, we do Margaritaville. And then we do, obviously, Coconut Kevin, our hit. We do our new song, The Beach. And the next single we're going to put out in the fall is a song called The Mushroom Song, which is loosely based on an experience I had at the Rhode Island Mushroom Company.
I remember them at the State House, the Rhode Island Mushroom Company.
Well, I went there one time because they're in a place where there's a brewery down by URI, and my brother-in-law's band was playing there, and I saw this guy come off this truck with a huge pile of big mushrooms.
Right.
and they went into this room, and I followed them.
Oh, no
And this
kidding.
woman came out, and she like kicked me out.
Yep.
She had like a white coat and a mask.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, "You get out of here." And so anyway, I wrote a song about getting kicked out of the mushroom store. Now, of course, people are going to think it's about drugs, about mushrooms. but it's
Mushrooms,
not.
yeah.
But anyway, so this fall, that'll be our next single. I think in this day and age, putting out an album, it's not that easy. So we're just going to release singles and see how the songs do.
Right.
And then after Mushroom, I did a remake of a song called "We Just Disagree" by Dave Mason. And I did a duet with John Ford Coley, and he was in the band England Dan and John Ford Coley. They had the hit "I Really Love to See You Tonight," "Nights Are Forever Without You." So John went in the studio with me, John Ford Coley, and we recorded it, and we're going to release that. So we've got our next few songs, and the band, is great. And then when I'm not with the band, then I DJ at the Windjammer, and we play a lot of those, great hits as well. So that's kind of the whole band thing, And I sell real estate, so if you need a house,
You sell real estate. How's the real estate down? It's got to be expensive down there, right? Anywhere near the water.
Well,
it's expensive.
I work for Berkshire Hathaway. It's
Which is a
big company.
upscale
Yeah.
company.
Yeah, everything in Southern Rhode Island is pretty high.
No
It's
kidding.
because there's a lot of demand and not a lot of stock.
Well, and plus you got all the people from Connecticut and Massachusetts trying to buy down there.
Well, during COVID,
and New York even.
Well, no, New York especially. During COVID, people were buying houses sight unseen, no inspections. That stopped.
That makes it easy, though.
Yeah,
for,
it was
for
really
a realtor, that makes it real
During
easy.
COVID, I was selling a few houses. I
Yeah.
mean, but it's definitely slowed down. But there's stuff the stuff is becoming a little more, palatable. I think at this point.
Right,
Right. It's gotten a little better. So, yeah. I mean, I know a lot about Westerly. I spent 16 years on the town council.
Right.
I've run the Musqueamick Business Association for 25 years. So, people, I think the real estate thing kind of went hand in hand with it, and people know that I know my area. So, Westerly, Charlestown, Hopkinton, that area. I probably wouldn't know what I'm doing if I was trying to sell a house in Springfield, but certainly Southern Rhode Island, I know what I'm doing.
And you've run the Musqueamick Business Association
24
for
years,
24
25
years.
next year.
I've been down there when you,
Was young.
yeah, yeah. I wasn't going to say that, but
Well, 50 is the new 40, folks.
no, it's a new 30.
Yeah. People said I've aged in reverse. I said, no, it's just a little hair color.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, but you've
So-
always been involved, as long as I've known you, you've always been involved.
Well, I started doing the TV thing in '95, and I started interviewing politicians and stuff. I remember spending a weekend with John McCain on the Straight Talk Express in New Hampshire. Then I ended up getting into politics. He told me, he goes, you should run for office in your hometown. So in 2002, when I was 28, I ran for town council. I think I served 10 years, ran for state rep and lost, served another 4 years, ran for state senate most recently and didn't make it because I ran as an independent. So I still
Yeah.
got 30% of the vote as an independent. But so my wife's been on the school committee in Westerly for 8 years. She's finishing up 8 years. But I am definitely, I enjoy not being in politics at this moment. And I'm all over the map with who I support. I mean, I'm a Republican, but I've been an independent for years. I've always supported Dan McKee.
Right, exactly.
And there's people I like on both sides of the aisle. And then, of course, if you support McKee, then I get yelled at by Republicans. And I'm like, you know what? I'm an independent.
Right.
I supported Link
That's
Chafee.
what me. That's me.
I've always loved Governor Chafee. I know everybody gave him a hard time, but
Yep.
I enjoyed working with him. And we got to spend time working on his short-lived run for president. We went to...
It was a little weird.
It was weird, but we drove to New Hampshire like 30 times. We went to the Iowa State Fair. We had a lot of fun. He and I had a lot of fun together.
Really?
And I will say, of all the politicians, he is the most loyal person. Whenever he's back in town from Wyoming, he always comes to Westerly. We have lunch. When I run for office, he'll like write a letter to the editor for me and say Caswell is really a great supporter, and he did a great job as town councilor. And I respect people like him.
Right.
And I think
and that's short. There's not too many people.
there's not
like
a lot
that.
of people like Link Chafee, and I know
Nope.
they gave him a ton of guff for whatever, but I sit here and say that he's a friend and I like him, and I think McKee's the same thing. McKee's loyal. A lot of people, what we feel in Westerly is that we're sort of missed out by the rest of the state because geographically we're farthest away. And you know, I remember back when, I don't know, it was either Sunland or Almond was governor. Someone said, "Yeah, seeing the governor in Westerly is like a sighting of Bigfoot." But Chafee was not like that, and McKee is not like that. Dan McKee knows everything going on in Westerly. He knows our events. He comes to everything, and it's different. And so it's great when there's a connection, you know, between Providence and the sort of the outlying towns, and that's been helpful. And I think now, you know, our biggest thing, and I know we'll talk about it here because we've been talking about it when we were texting, is, you know, this whole erosion of the coastline.
Right, I was going to get into that.
Yeah, and Dan McKee has been a supporter of helping us try to get some stuff done.
Because that's pretty dangerous. I mean, you're losing a lot of coastline down there.
I think the whole state is losing a lot.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, but your Musquamaket Beach is the longest beach, isn't it?
it is, and I know Narragansett's having trouble.
Right.
And,
but that's at least up in the bay.
yeah,
You
it
don't
is.
have the protection down there in West.
You know, because if you look at a map, you know, Long Island protects Connecticut.
Right.
And then as soon as Long Island ends, boom, it hits Watch Hill, hits Westerly, West
Right.
Musquamaket, and that's why the 38 Hurricane Carol in '54, and Superstorm Sandy hit Westerly the hardest of any place in the state. I remember when Superstorm Sandy hit Musquamaket, Chafee came down and he looked around, and he had been everywhere else. And of course, in Superstorm Sandy, New Jersey was hurt the most.
Right.
And he stood in Musquamaket and said, "Wow, this is our New Jersey." Because the sand was 6 feet high in the streets. I mean, I remember walking down the street on Atlantic Avenue, and the top of the stop sign was at my waist.
Really?
And so many places were destroyed. And so then this winter, we had 3 huge storms, and they were almost as bad as Sandy. And McKee came down. He came down to all 3 of them. But the one in December, he had gone to Narragansett first, and he had gone to Matunic, and he got to Musquamaket. He goes, "This is the worst in the state."
Sure.
And so what's happening is Musquamaket is a barrier beach, and barrier beaches want to move. And unfortunately, in 18 whatever, when they started building down there, they didn't understand that. And now the place is so built up.
Right.
I drove Atlantic Avenue. See, a lot of people think that Musquamaket Beach means the State Beach parking lot, and Musquamaket State Beach is just one small segment of the entire village or fire district of Musquamaket. If you drive from the Weekapaug Bridge down to the border of Watch Hill, there are 218 houses. There are 50 businesses. There's a state beach, a town beach. And then the side streets that get flooded, there's another 200-300 houses. So what happened during these storms is all the sand got pushed into the streets. A lot of the buildings were affected. The Windjammer, the Pleasant View, which is a 111-room hotel, all got compromised. And so we're sitting here, you know, the town spent $250,000 cleaning up this winter, just getting the sand out of the streets.
Just moving the sand?
We're just moving the sand.
Wow.
And so I'm sitting
They need
there,
some more front-end loaders.
right, and I'm sitting there thinking, all right, there's 2 choices for Musquamaket, as there is for a lot of these coastline
Either you
places.
abandon it and let it take over, right?
Or you put sand on the beach.
Right.
So
Well, how about bringing rocks in and then put the sand with the rocks?
they don't want rocks anymore. See, some of these places down there, and if you look in Matunic, if you look in Narragansett, if you look at this places where they would fortify buildings with rocks, it causes further erosion.
Oh, it does?
And so you'll see some of these places in Musquamaket that have rocks, and the sand has eroded on the side, and they're almost like little islands unto themselves. So
Really?
they don't recommend doing that. Then you get barrier reefs, which is a possibility, but then it kills the surf, and then people get mad about that. So beach nourishment is a plan that I think can work. And if you look at, you know, that group NOAA, National
Right,
Ocean
yeah,
Atlas,
yeah.
NOAA's got a database. Army Corps of Engineers has done 400 beach nourishment projects in the United States over the last few decades.
Now, when you say beach nourishment, is that, what, are they building up reefs, their own reefs?
No, so beach nourishment is basically putting sand on the beach, but they do it by dredging offshore.
Okay, yeah.
So Long Island is embarking on beach nourishment for 83 miles of Long Island.
If they got money.
Well, yeah, and they just did Montauk this winter.
Like
So
I said, they got money.
They do. Well, but you got to look at it. So, you know, Army Corps, if they approve your project, will pay 2/3.
Oh, nice.
So then your local and state match is 1/3. It's $8 to $10 million a mile. So we looked at Musquamaket. It's
It's 8 to 10
million a mile.
Is that excluding after the Army Corps pays, or is that with
The total.
The total.
So what we would propose is adding 150 to 200 feet onto the shore. So if you take a place like Virginia Beach, you take places on the Outer Banks, Galveston, Texas, Montauk Point,
Right.
the more distance you can put between the wave action and the infrastructure, the safer you're going to be.
Sure.
These
sure.
projects have to be done every 7 to 10 years. So you have to constantly be saving money. So what I broke it down and did a presentation to the Westerly Town Council, to the Mesquamaket Fire District, and what I've got in Mesquamaket, we've got 3 miles, and right now the water is lapping up against these houses and these businesses. We also are in danger eventually of losing that State Beach pavilion and parking, and where else would the public access if you didn't have those 3,000 parking spaces? You know,
Right.
if that became a sand spit, yeah, people could walk on it, but there's nowhere to park. You'd have to
Right.
like hike to get there. So to preserve public access, plus all the controversy over public access, you know, the legislature passed a bill last year saying, you know, 10 feet above high tide is public.
Right.
Well, 10 feet above high tide is in people's back porches.
That's kind of ridiculous, 10 feet
But
above
but
high
it's
tide.
but it's in people's back porches. If you put 150 feet of sand, there's plenty of place for public access,
Right.
to preserve the infrastructure, and then people stop arguing about it because there's plenty of beach to go around. So that
But
was
then you
kinda
get
my
the
idea.
argument from other people, a friend of mine included, well, what are we going to help all those rich people that have houses on the waterfront?
And here's why. So, 2 things. Number 1, you know, the governor declared a disaster, and it was. And the Biden administration sent somebody down, and I went to one of these meetings, and they're like, oh yeah, we're here to help the survivors. I said, you guys are like square peg, round hole. We don't have survivors. These are second homeowners. They're not gonna die if their house falls into the ocean. What we need is sand. Instead of spending millions of dollars to send people here to like sit in a room and like, you know, get people to apply for small business loans,
Right.
which they're not going to do down in that area.
Right.
We need sand on the beach. Here's what it preserves. So you take a little area, that 3-mile stretch of Mesquamaket, that represents to the town of Westerly $9 million in property taxes a year out of a $99 million budget.
Wow.
So 10% of
10%
your budget,
of the budget.
is that one little area. So what do you gain if you preserve that area with sand? You keep your $9 million
Right,
in
that
taxes.
you might lose otherwise.
Then the State Beach is making $1 million or more off of parking. Then you've got over 1,000 jobs. You have over 50 small businesses down there. Who would not want to put money into saving 50 small businesses, into saving 1,000 jobs, into saving hundreds of millions of dollars in hotel tax, and in revenue towards the economy? So the way I broke it down is that the state owns half a mile of the 3 miles. So the state would need to cough up their portion, which would be like $5 million. And then the town would need to cough up about $3 million every decade.
Right.
So they need to put away $300,000 a year. At a $9 million property taxes, the town of Westerly
bad. That's
can
nothing.
put away $300,000 a year. You do the project, and if it works, it works. And if it needs to be done in 10 years, great. Or in 10 or 20 years, they may develop better technology.
Right.
But
Some other way of saving
Right,
it.
but if you were to abandon a place like Mesquamaket,
Right.
you would have to get hundreds of millions of dollars in federal money to remove houses, all those septic systems. You can't just let it fall into the ocean.
There you go.
You'd have to remove 3 miles of road, 3 miles of water, 3 miles of electricity.
Plus all the taxes.
Right, and you lose all the taxes. So abandonment sounds, oh yeah, let's just let it go into the ocean. Who cares about a few people that have a lot of money? It's 218 homes. And if those 218 homes were on your street, your town would fix it. So this is the battle we're in.
I don't know about that.
But you know what I mean? But I mean, it's like, and I said to my town council, I said, if this was anywhere else in town, you wouldn't bat an eyelash. I mean, there was one street in Westerly that needed to be fixed with drainage and stuff in the middle of town. And the town spent, I was on the council, we spent $3.5 million to fix a street.
And you're looking for $9 million.
And I'm looking for $3 million every decade for a 3-mile stretch with 218 homes. And if you put it in that perspective, and then the other thing is about public access is if you put 150 feet of sand on the beach, that's public.
Right.
And now the public has access to the sand. Because the residents are going to have to say, well, look, I got 2 choices. I can continue to say, don't ever walk on my sand again,
Right.
but then I'm going to lose my house. Or I can accept the fact that we're going to put more beach out, and I'm just going to have to share that beach with the general public. And that's, I think, how you solve the public access thing. You know, you bury people in what they need, and right now they need sand. And if there's more of the resource, there's less arguing. And I think it works for everybody. So yeah, some millionaires are going to get their houses saved, but they're going to keep putting money into the economy. And who are these people? These are the people that give money to the hospital, that they give money to the arts, they give money, you know, and they're only here 3 months out of the year. They pay a lot of our taxes, don't put any kids in the school, and don't require any services.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think there's a way to coexist.
Can you get Taylor to throw in a few dollars?
Well, you know, if we extend that project to Watch Hill, maybe Taylor should. All she has to do is give the money from one night at Gillette Stadium, and it will just
It's
take
all
care of
over,
the,
yeah.
So Taylor, can you do one
One
show
night,
at Gillette?
one night.
And just pay for it for everybody. And then I think, you know, if this project worked for us, it would work in Matunic. You know?
Right.
And Matunic's got the same issue. I mean, the ocean mist is, you know, right there.
Right there, yeah.
You know, and then they, you know, and I think I was talking to Governor Chafee, and they had a house there that they had to remove their house.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think some people already have
Yeah.
removed their houses down there in Matunic.
Yeah. I just think that, you know, you're never going to fight Mother Nature, and you're never going to have a permanent solution. But if you can buy time, if you can buy a decade at a time.
Well, like you said, in the decade, maybe by that time they'll find a new way
Right.
of preserving it.
Right. Or, you know, as things do get destroyed, they come back as mobile situations. Or the town has been buying some property at the beach, and maybe eventually, you know, people over the years will get bought out, but you would never be able to get the money to buy out 218 homes and 50 businesses.
Wow.
That would be hundreds of millions of dollars, because you got to give them fair market value.
And like you said, not only buying the homes, all the septic systems,
oh my God.
you're talking
So,
big
yeah,
problems.
so the people that say, wait for the big one to come and take it all, yeah, the pollution involved with taking it all.
Wow.
I mean, nobody thinks about the septic or the electric or the gas or the water. I mean,
Yeah.
the infrastructure's huge. You got to remove all that infrastructure, and that costs way more than spending $3-4 million a decade.
Right, right.
So that's my pitch, and that's what I'm, you know, I've been, you know, Channel 10, Providence Journal gave us a front page article last week about it, and I've been trying to get out there and say that beach nourishment is definitely something. I'm trying to get our town council to say, hey, Army Corps, will you please come and see if we're eligible for this project?
Right.
If they say no, well then, hey, we're, you know, but if they say yes and are willing to pay 2/3, then I think it's incumbent upon the town and the state to make up the difference in the interest of keeping the money
Especially if they're
flowing.
going to pay the 2/3.
Right.
I mean, if you had to do it on their own, it'd be,
30 million's a big nut, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But, you know, 7-8 million.
Well, they're putting together, they're trying to, or they're going to build, or they're building a soccer stadium in Pawtucket that I don't see the benefit from. I've told the governor that, I've told the mayor that on 2 different occasions.
Well, that's my whole thing is, you know, they declare these disasters, and there's just all these millions of dollars, and it just never gets to anyone. And it's like, just give us a few $1 million for some darn sand. And
How long would it take to get that, put that sand on the?
So they have an offshore dredger. It's called the Ellis Island. They used it on Montauk, and it's they go 2 miles out, and they comb the bottom, and they fill up their hopper, which is equivalent to 400 trucks worth of sand.
Wow.
They bring the boat in closer to the shore, and there's a pipeline, and they hook up to the pipeline and pump it onto the beach, and then the loaders move it around. They got Montauk, they got several miles of Montauk, because they work 24 hours a day, and they can only do it in like January, February. There's a certain time of year. They had the whole thing done in a month or so.
Really?
I would say it would be like a month, you know.
And
to get it
in the
done.
winter anyway, right?
And in the winter, no one's around,
Right.
you know, and it's not really affecting much. We also have a pond right behind us called Winnapaug Pond, and we could get a lot of sediment out of there too. And the pond needs to be dredged for the health of the pond, so we could get some of the sand from there.
And doing,
The problem that
kill
we've had,
2 birds with 1 stone.
right? Yeah, or they don't let you say that anymore, Bob. You got to say feed 2 birds with 1 scone if you want to be politically correct.
Oh, you
I'm
can't
joking.
kill
Yeah,
anymore,
you
right?
can't kill anymore. Yeah, the good old days when you could kill. No, but so you know the problem is you know permitting, and then if you get the sand from the pond, you got to put pipes across the street. I just think the offshore thing is just so much easier.
It makes more sense.
It's quicker.
Because otherwise you have to deal with coastal management.
Well, you still have to deal with it,
DEM.
but we went to CRMC, and I asked the director of CRMC, and he said, we don't have a problem with beach nourishment. But the problem that we've had is that, you know, the state owns the state beach part, and the town owns parts, and then there's private business owners, and then there's private residents, and there's a fire, and there's, over this 3-mile stretch, there's like 40 different owners. and all those people got to row in the same direction, or it ain't going to get done.
Right.
And the town, the state, and you can't just dredge and put sand on the state beach. It's going to wash away. You've got to do
You
a
gotta do it
holistic
all- you
approach.
gotta do the whole
You got to
thing.
go from the breachway to the
Right.
other end,
Right.
so that it's all packed in and that it has a chance of lasting longer.
Right.
And you know, of the 400 projects that have been done, most have been successful. Most will last 5 to 10 years. Obviously, you're going to find smaller projects that, oh, one big storm took it away. You run that risk, but at least it takes away the extra sand instead of the houses and the infrastructure.
Right.
So it's sacrificial. And you know, it's a big thing. It's a big nut, but I think it's worth trying at least once. And I've called on the town council, I've called on our state legislature, and I've called on the governor to help us with this project. And that's one of the reasons I've been going around talking to folks like you, talking to the news channels, is, you know, we need some action. Everybody studies everything.
Oh, of course.
You know, and you got these
Well,
people.
there's money in study.
Well, there is, and you know, I'm not here to besmirch anyone, but you know, there's like these geologists at URI and stuff, and I remember this one geologist or a lady was saying, "Oh, it's so exciting to study erosion, and you should take pictures of the erosion. It's so interesting." And I'm like, "It's not really that interesting. You know, we live there, and it's not interesting when it's coming
scary
through
is
when
what
it's
it
coming
is.
through your business or
Right.
through your house."
Right.
You know, so it's something that, you know, I just decided I'm not a geologist. I'm nothing. But I'm sitting there going, no one's coming up with any ideas. So I'm going to present an idea.
Well,
So
at least you're doing it. At least you're doing it.
The worst they can say is no, right,
Yeah.
Bob?
There you go. There you go. And you don't get anywhere unless you try. Right.
Right.
Hey, you know, you spent an hour with Bob. How do you like that, huh?
It was a fun
Been a
hour.
while. It's been a while. When's the last time you were on this show?
7-8 years ago.
Was it that long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're both older.
We're both older.
And wiser.
And hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Well, your song again.
Coconut Kevin, and the new one's called The Beach by Caswell and the Peelany. It's available on your streaming networks, wherever you stream music.
And where are you playing coming up?
We're going to be at Summer Pops in Westerly. We're going to be at the Sham Lot. We're going to be twice at the Windjammer, July and August. We're going to be at the Charlestown Seafood Fest. And
I love that festival.
oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, yeah. So we're going to be all around this summer, and we'll come to you if you want us to come. We'll play. Just feed us.
Just feed you, huh? Maybe I'll get you up in Pawtucket or Providence.
We'd
or
love to
something.
play in Pawtucket.
Yeah? I'll find some place for you.
All right.
Pawtucket, Providence, whatever. How about Smithfield?
Yeah, that's without a T, right?
Yeah.
Smithfield?
No, a friend of mine owns the Last Resort in Smithfield.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. See, we're
With the
getting
swimming
bookings.
pool in the backyard and everything.
We play that kind of music.
There you go. All right. I guess we're wrapping it up.
All right.
I'm being told we're wrapping it up from Diane. Diane's wrapping it up. Well, thank you for spending an hour
Well,
with Bob
thank you
Caswell.
for having me.
Caswell Cook, all the way from Westerly. And he didn't even bring a lunch. Until next time, folks, thank you for spending an hour with Bob and Caswell. See ya.
Every night I lie awake just dreaming about the future. Pay those bills and worry about the kids I need to nurture. With all the pressures of life, sometimes we need an escape. I know a guy who lives that life great. I wish it could be Coconut Kevin, ass in the sand, having drinks at 11, spending his time just painting and swimming. I wish it could be. I wish it could be. I wish I could